in the space. You get who I'm talking about. Listen to them. So I just wanted to clear that up. Let's get started. Okay, the first topic. Much to say, it's on the tip of everybody's tongue. Everybody's been talking about it. You can't log on to Twitter without seeing something related to it. You can
have an Apple phone without having this pop up on your Apple News.
Right. Lizzo. We're talking about Lizzo. So this article is from Yahoo News. And this is, I believe, the latest article that I could find by the time we're recording this. Just an FYI. So there could be more information since we've recorded. Okay. Lizzo was sued by 3 former tour dancers for sexual harassment, creating a hostile work environment, and Lizzo has yet to make a public response, so she has by now. Okay. Lizzo is being sued by 3 former dancers for alleged sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment. According to a lawsuit filed on Tuesday that was obtained by Yahoo Entertainment, one woman claimed she was weight shamed by the Grammy-winning singer. 2 alleged they were pressured into nude photo shoots. One woman claimed to be nearly assaulted by Lizzo. The complaint was filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court against Lizzo, or Melissa Vivian Jefferson. Wow, Jefferson's her last name.
I know.
That's just so, like, I'm gonna say it. That's just so black. Like, you can tell she's black.
Oh, really? Jefferson. I thought, like, Melissa Jefferson sounded, like, super, like, white.
Melissa, maybe, but Jefferson, that's a black last name. Like Johnson. Johnson's a black last name.
Really?
Yes. Johnson's a black last name.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to laugh at that.
You
Sorry.
can laugh. It's funny.
Okay, laugh. I just think Melissa Jefferson becomes Lizzo.
I guess because Melissa, maybe like Lizzo.
Yeah.
Lizzo.
Yeah.
But I would have done Lizzo. No, Lizzo. I would have done
Lizzo.
I think it would have been Lizzo because Lizzo's also the feminine version of it.
Yeah.
But I guess Lizzo, like Lizzo. It was Lizzo.
Yeah, she definitely has a presence. Anyways, continue.
So anywho, her production company, Big Girl, Big Touring, and
Big GRRRL.
That's a very good point. Big Girl, Big Touring, and Shirlene Quigley, the captain of Lizzo's dance team. On various allegations by defendants, they claim sexual and racial harassment, disability discrimination, assault, and false imprisonment. The stunning nature of how Lizzo and her management team treated their performers seems to go against everything Lizzo stands for publicly. While privately she weight shames her dancers and demeans them in ways that are not only illegal but they're not only illegal but absolutely demoralizing. Attorney Ron Zambrano, a partner and employment litigation chair at West Coast Employment Lawyer, says in a statement on behalf of the 3 women. Yahoo reached out to a rep for Lizzo but did not receive a response. Here's what we know. In February 2023, the dancers went out with Lizzo after a show in Amsterdam. Okay, everybody, this is what is crazy to me. Everybody just listen.
Yeah, I feel like we should do a little bit of a trigger warning because this is
fair.
This is graphic, y'all.
And it's gross. Okay.
Oh.
Quote, these invitations were not unusual and the attendance was not mandatory, but it was well known that dance cast members were expected to endear themselves to Lizzo. Lizzo often mentioned that she had eyes and ears everywhere and only wanted good people with good energy around her. Yikes.
Okay.
End quote. The women claim people who attended after parties with Lizzo were favored and would usually get more work outside the tour, so they felt they needed to go. The singer planned a night out in Amsterdam's red light district, which is known for sex shows. The group went to a club where patrons were supposedly encouraged to interact with nude performers, and things, quote, quickly got out of hand, end quote, according to the lawsuit. The complaint...
Shocker. How could that get out of hand?
Right. How could a group of people who work together go to a sex show where there's nudity and not get out of hand? Okay, here we go. The complaint alleged Lizzo encouraged her crew to, quote, touch the nude performers and engage in other explicitly sexual acts with them. Lizzo then turned her attention to Miss Davis and began pressuring Miss Davis to touch the breast of one of the nude women. Davis declined, but Lizzo allegedly led a chant encouraging her to do it. Davis briefly touched the performer's breast and was mortified. That same night, Lizzo supposedly pressured a member of her security team to get on stage and, quote, his pants were pulled down, exposing his buttocks. Plaintiffs were aghast with how little regard Lizzo showed for the bodily autonomy of her employees and those around her, especially in the presence of many people whom she employed. After about a week later, Lizzo invited her dancers out to Paris, allegedly telling them they were going to a place with, quote, live dancers performing and that they would be able to learn something or be inspired by the performance. The venue was called Crazy Horse. Plaintiffs were under the same pressure as before to go out with Lizzo after the performance. But this time, the fact that they were attending a show where nudity was prominently featured was hidden from them, making them completely surprised when the curtain was drawn and nudity was yet again on display. They were shocked that Lizzo would conceal the nature of the event from them, robbing them of choice not to participate. Okay, I didn't include, I guess, thinking ahead, I did not include another very salacious part of this.
Yes, I thought we were getting into that.
I thought we were as well. I will briefly describe it. I'm sure it's in the entire article. I can't read entire articles, y'all. I just clip out things.
Yeah.
Essentially, at a sex show, there was an opportunity for them to take a banana out of. No, it's okay. Laugh because it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable.
This is the craziest thing you've ever heard.
A banana out of the vagina of another woman. They were encouraged to do this, to take the banana with their mouth out of the vagina. And apparently the place they went to is known for things like that. Now, let me set the scene. You are excited. This is your dream job. You are working with someone who you think is a leader, an innovator in your field. They say, hey, let's all do an after work activity. You show up. There's naked people everywhere. And there's food. And you're expected to engage with the naked people and the food together. How uncomfortable, how disgusting, how disturbing of that. To me, that's the wildest part. There's other things that she's done. Apparently, she weight shamed people, which is crazy for a mere out of, the irony is just right there. She weight shamed people. She, made people kind of uncomfortable about, kind of sexually harassing, doing the touching the butt thing. And, but to me, the most disgusting, and she kind of made it a really intense work environment, kind of a hard taskmaster. And those are all terrible things. In a perfect world, you would not work for a boss like that. But exposing you, having you feel obligated to go to nudity things, and then having you, touch someone's breast, having you eat a banana out of someone's vagina, that is absolutely disgusting. There is no excuse for that. That is absolutely disgusting. But before you go, I want to talk about something else in regards to that.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. I'm going to pull back a little bit. We're going to talk on the macro about this whole thing with Lizzo. From my understanding, Lizzo grew up a bigger girl. When you grow up a bigger girl, people are mean to you. They bully you. She probably wasn't asked to prom. She could have been, I don't know. Most bigger girls weren't. I wasn't asked. Most bigger girls weren't. You go through life kind of feeling a little bit second-class citizen. You take two routes, typically. You either wear a lot of sweatshirts and sweatpants to kind of hide who you are, kind of try to be invisible, or you develop a great personality, wear cute clothes, and talk all the time. You can guess which route I took. And you can probably guess what route Lizzo took. Here's the thing. If you don't have something in you okay, so this is the background of people. Everybody has issues. Everybody has problems. People who grew up incredibly poor are bullied as well. Here's the thing. When you get power, think about this. She got power quickly, out of nowhere. She has tons of yes men around her, yes women, yes theys around her. And I'm sorry, I had to. It's that's her whole thing. She's so yeah. Anyway, which is why this is so jarring. Like, she's so, yeah, everybody come, I don't care what you are, who you are, what you do. If you don't have something in you to morally check you, to morally be like, hey, you know what? Even though I was treated badly, that doesn't mean I treat other people badly. If you don't have people around you to hold you accountable, to be like, hey, girlie, you're getting a little too big for your britches. If you don't have a brother or a sister that'll tell you right away, like, hey, you need to chill, you're too much right now, you become a monster. And we see this in time and time again. I just feel like we haven't seen it to this scale in a long time, but we see it time and time again. If you, and you know, we see people who grew up bad, we see people who grew up poor. Think about all of the, I'm actually thinking about someone right now who is like very mean and like tyrant, and the first thing they'll tell you when they tell you about how they got successful, well, I grew up poor, I didn't have da-da-da-da, which is, you know, that's perfectly like good. Like, you should get better, but like, you also should keep your morals. Like, you also should treat people better. You should treat people how you wish they had treated you. But you have to have that in you. You have to know that that's what it is. And you also have to, like, you can't make excuses for, okay, I don't say like, okay, you had a terrible life. That's not right. Yeah, life can be hard and difficult. We can only play with the cards we're dealt. That's just a fact. You can only play with the cards you're dealt. But you have the choice and option to figure out what to do with them. And I truly think what it is she got power out of nowhere. And she said, I'm going to do to people what they did to me. I'm going to be mean. I'm going to make people uncomfortable. She's hypersexual for whatever reason. I mean, you know, that, you can make assumptions on that. She's hypersexual. I think that's also kind of a response. I don't know. I don't know her psychology. What I'm getting, I was looking at it, I feel like that's a response to not being sexualized, which is interesting how people react to things.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if you don't have something in you to like check you, if you don't have something in you to be like, you know what, like, I can't treat people this way, you're going to turn out like that. You're going to become a tyrant. You're going to be mean. And here's what's crazy. You know, these allegations come out normally, like even with Jonathan Majors, people, no, I never had that experience with her. Oh no, he's been so great to me. I love so and so. I haven't heard a single thing from a celebrity saying anything like that. Think about that. No, what everybody's kind of either like, yeah, I had an experience with her too, where she was pretty bad, or they're just silent. I mean, Beyonce, she's in a Beyonce song. Beyonce has not said her name since Tuesday in that song. Beyonce mentions her, and I think it's Break My Soul, something like that, and she has not said her name since then. Which is also interesting because it's like, well, did you know she was a terrible person and you just didn't say anything to us earlier? But then that also leads me to last thing, and then you have the floor. That also leads me to people. It is very brave to come out against someone who has power over you, someone who has any type of authority. It is very brave. You think that you'll be in a situation where your boss, you know, says something to you or mistreats you, and you'll go, huh, not me, throw your coffee on them and be like, I quit and I'm suing you. That's what you think you'll do, and then you'll get in a situation and you'll be like,
or you'll think they're so sure of themselves, they've got to be right, so it must be me. If I'm hesitant, that's a me problem.
Exactly. You think that you're gonna be this great, but sometimes that just doesn't happen. So it's very brave, and I commend people who speak up.
For sure.
And that's what needs to be done. So there's that. And then the other thing, last thing I want to say about this, whatever is done in the dark always comes to light.
I literally, that's exactly what I said when we read this for the first time. That's what I said out loud.
I see this all the time, and you know what? It sometimes doesn't come right away. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes years. I don't think it takes, sometimes it takes decades. But whatever is done in the dark always comes out to light. Always. So if you're doing something, stop it. Get accountability and apologize. Go ahead and stop now and get accountability. Or if someone's doing something to you, just hold on to that. Whatever is in the dark always comes out to light. And we see versions of celebrities, influencers, commentators. We see the version of them that they want us to see. We can't put too much stock in who people want us to see because you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed. I don't say every time, but you can't, don't expect people to be completely who they are in real life until you see that for yourself. Mm-hmm. I think that's the best way to say it. One of the biggest compliments Isabel gave me was she said something like, "You're actually funny in real life like you are online." And first of all, anybody calling me funny, I'm going to think about that for the next week. So that was the first thing.
You are funny. I actually had a text from a friend today saying, like, she couldn't stop laughing at us. So you're funny.
Love that. Thank you, friend. Wow, that's all I want to be thinking about.
You're like, no. What was I saying?
Yeah, what was I saying? But no, like, that is such a compliment. And, like, that's, if you are looking to be in the space like this, or if you want to, if you're a singer and you want to be a singer one day, come on the podcast before you become famous. That's the first thing. I'm inviting you now to come here before you become famous. And when you become famous too. Who's silly me? Also when you're famous. Especially when you're famous. No, but seriously, like, if you're thinking about that, like, always be true and genuine, because it's always going to come out. Whenever anyone is, like, not a good person, it always comes out. All right. Go ahead, Freeman.
Well, I love everything you said. I think you have a really unique perspective on this. I remember asking you in the beginning stages of our friendship, like, what you thought of Lizzo. And it was fascinating to hear everything you had to say, because I hadn't given it really any thought. And I think you're right to say that, like, assuming that these allegations are true, I don't know how you could possibly... I don't know how you could possibly dream this up.
Right. Well, okay, wait, really quick, I want to say, there was this clip, or like a chunk that was going around that said she was in a meeting and she cracked her knuckles before responding, and I thought that was so funny. And then I read more and I was like, oh my god, this woman's crazy. But, like, the idea of going into a meeting with your boss, like, you coming in and talk to me, yeah, what's up, Freeman? What you got to say? Like, that's so funny. Yeah. But yeah, the rest you can't dream up. That you can dream up, but, like, the rest you can't. Continue.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, I think I definitely would agree with you in that, assuming this is true, assuming that, like, she has been attacking other people sexually and physically, I think that's a sign that she has seen herself as a merely physical, superficial body. I think her brand is being what you see is what you get, to a fault. And I think I'm not explaining this well, but it's basically like, if you see yourself as merely a body, of course you're only going to see your peers as merely bodies.
No,
so if you're critical of your body, you are going to be the first person to judge someone else's body. So if someone's criticizing you for being loud or being unattractive or for being a goody two-shoes or whatever, that definitely can hint at an insecurity that they're experiencing. And vice versa. If you're noticing, oh, that person's really unattractive, or, oh, she is not well-spoken, or, oh, like, whatever it is, it's because you're probably insecure in that way too. So however someone's attacking you, it's because they're afraid of being attacked in that same way. Freeman, I don't know if that makes sense.
That was so astute. I'm over here making jokes, and you're, like, giving the philosophical response.
No.
I'm like, what about this? And you're like,
no. I mean, I feel bad about how much, like, I'm laughing at this, but, like, this is the most insane story.
Insane. I mean, because her whole brand, like I said earlier, her whole brand is like, yes, I'm the sweet, kind person. Don't let anyone talk bad about you. Love me and all that I am, and let everyone love you and all you are. And then it's like, and you know what? This is another thing that I think people who, okay, some background. I feel like a lot of people who make commentary on like obesity, especially people who have never been obese, are also never around people who are obese. Like when I think about all my friend groups, except for one, if I left the friend group, nobody would know anyone that was fat. So people get their ideas from what they see on TV, online, and TikTok. Okay. I think that the average obese woman, not all of them, I'm also talking about myself. You don't get to a certain weight because you're happy with yourself. Everything's all fine and dandy. You have everything's together. You're really like life is going a-okay for you. You don't get there because everything is good. So she clearly has something, like you were saying, she clearly feels something about herself and is projected, and she only sees herself as the body, like you said, is projected on other people. You can easily objectify someone if you don't see yourself as anything other than a body. It'll be easy to objectify somebody else. It's no problem to touch someone's butt. If you just see butts as butts, like who cares? Like just someone's butt. And I think that that's like part of it. I think that there's so many other things. And these aren't excuses because, like I said, trash human. That's the biggest lesson out of this. Well, I mean, I'm sorry. You're having someone. You have the power.
I agree.
Having someone eat a banana.
I mean, trash human. That I don't. I just wasn't expecting those words.
Like the banana thing, like, you know, she was just
the banana thing. I cannot come back from. I'm pretty sure I've had nightmares.
Like that is the craziest thing. I've never even heard of something like that. I didn't even know people did that. I know,
and I feel like I've heard of a lot.
Yeah. Well, yes. I'm like thinking of what have I heard of. I'm not gonna lie, I have not heard of a lot, but I definitely have not heard of that. I can attest to that. So maybe trash is a little harsh.
If she did this,
I like how you're saying if, because technically we won't know until the court case, even though it feels as if she did.
Whatever. I can't make a consensus. But what were you saying?
Anyway, my whole point is like when you are when you feel that way about yourself, you can I'm just repeating what you said. Really, when you feel that way about yourself, that's how you're going to treat other people. And she feels that way. She has all these other things going on, so she's treating people that way. And you have to. I just think that's so important. Why you have to be self-aware, which you know that our country lacks that. You got to be self-aware. And you also have to really be, and I'm saying this as someone who is a bigger person who, you know, has things going on in her life. You have to be like grounded in the Bible. I mean, I don't know where else to go with this. It has to be the Bible because that's the only thing that can give you morality other than things that just, because you're going to want to do things to satisfy your flesh. You're going to want to do things that make you feel good. If yelling at you're big yourself and calling another girl, you need to, I think the thing was like, the girl said she had an eating disorder. And which, I mean, let's be honest, if you're doing all of that dancing, because they were her background dancers.
I know.
I was talking to my brother about this. I hadn't said this out loud. I hadn't said this before on the podcast, but I was going to start the rumor that she wore a fat suit because I saw this video of her jump roping, and I'm like, this can't be like. I'm seeing the video of her jump rope, and I'm like, she can't just be like that. And like all the dancing.
What was it? Not like what?
Like I jump rope, and I'm like this, and she's like this.
Oh, so she was moving really quickly and like easy.
And then have you seen clips from the show? I mean, she's doing the whole night and multiple nights. Like she's moving, and I'm like, how is she not losing weight? I mean, the summer or the semester that I was just walking to work, I lost like 20 pounds. And she's doing high intensity movements.
Like aerobics.
Aerobics. Like, if you guys are not, this is definitely the episode to watch. I'm doing a lot of movements. And like, I'm doing all the time, I'm almost out of breath. And like, I'm about as big as her. So like, there's no way. There's no way. Anyway.
Well, what I could see is, and you've talked about this, what I could see, and this is my last thing, is her shaming people for losing weight.
No, that would make sense, right?
I know what they said, but I could also see the flip.
Yes, I definitely could see that too. Because you got to keep up your...
Which wouldn't be good either.
Because you have... And like, that's what I just don't understand. Oh, sorry. So what I'm saying is like, the girl said she had an eating disorder. And then Lizzo fired her and said she was gaining too much weight. And it's like, clearly... you're doing all this moving and, you've remained that size. Not only that, you're doing all this moving and you gained. Clearly something is going on. Maybe get her some help.
Yeah.
If you care about people, get her some help. But it says she fired. And that is a projection of, like, what's going on with her.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lizzo's canceled party. Is that what the kids used to say? Lizzo's over party.
Oh gosh.
That's what the kids say. Switching gears, our next story is brought to you by NBC. This is something that happened last week, and I wanted more information before we discussed it. So here we go.